Hello, everyone, and welcome to another masterclass. Of course, I would say TGIF. Thank God it's Friday because, of course, it's Friday. Um, Anywhere you are located, really, it's either you're just starting your day, and of course, maybe 12 each. It's still the morning, but it's Friday, or it's either you are about to get into Saturday, but of course. It's still TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. And one thing I want to tell you guys is that you joining the session today, okay? You joining the session today, your Friday just got a whole lot better, okay? Your Friday just got a whole lot better. That's something I'm just going to tell you, okay? So it's Friday, you've had a long week, you went to work, you did this, you did that. It's been quite stressful. And it's the weekend. It's time to, have some fun, okay? Because you joined the session, your fun just got multiplied by two. You are going to be having a fantastic time. I, for one, I know I'm going to be having a fantastic time. And of course, that would relate to you. So everyone on the call, we are all going to be having a nice time. Now, the basis for that fun, the basis for the nice, is that we are going to be communicating. Okay, that is the basis. That is the foundation about us having fun today. That we are going to be what? Communicating. Now, what is communication? Of course, some persons say communication when you speak and whatever you say, it's understood, blah, 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 that, you have the communicator, the listener, the medium, all of those social stuff. That's not what I think communication is anyways. Okay, so do we want to know what my own definition is? What I think communication is all about? Do we want to know? Do we want to know? So you can use the chat box, okay? You can send in a one if you want to know what I think communication is about. Okay, so we know the the everyday definition of what communication is. Are you interested in knowing my own definition? Are we interested? It seems you're not interested. Okay, so we're currently 11 on the call. Of course, that number is going to go up while we move on. But Adioba, do you want to know what my definition of communication is? Blessing. Okay. Rage, Ebby, Harry, FBJ, Olamide. Okay. Test, Olaleka. Are we interested? Or if we're not interested, maybe we can just call it a day or something. Okay. Are we interested? So Olamide says very interested. Fantastic, Olamide. So Olamide was the first person to respond. Olamide, please remind me at the end of the session, I have a special gift for you, Olamide. Okay, I have something special for you. Just remind me in case if I forget. Okay, so if I forget, just let me know. Oh, Aisha, sir, you said you have something for me. Okay, so that's for you, Olamide. Okay, so Tesla also said yes. Okay, so what is communication to me? Communication is I speak, you speak, we all speak. That's what I think is That's what I think communication is, or at least today. That's what I'm going to use as my definition. Okay, so we are going to be having fun. That I know. Okay, we are going to be having fun. And what is the basis for that fun? Communication. And I've said that communication is I speak, you speak, we all speak. So we are going to be interacting a whole lot. We are going to be interacting lots. Okay. The first thing I want to ask, like I said, TGIF, okay, we're going to have fun. The first thing I want to ask, the first thing I want to know is, so let's listen, everyone, okay? I would want to get your input. If you would want to speak, you can use the raise hand icon because I want to hear you speak, or you can also use the chat box to send in your response, okay? So let's think about this. Let's think about this. Let's say you have a business, okay? So let's say you have a business. So Blessing, let's say you have a business, okay? Ibrima, let's say you have a business. Harry, let's say you have a business. Olamide, let's say you have a business. And you want to increase sales. You want to make more money. Are we following? Okay, step one. You have what? You have a business. That's the first part of the scenario we are painting at the moment. Okay, you have a business. Number two is that you want to make more money. You want to do what? You want to make more money. You want to increase profits. What would you do? Okay, if you'd like to speak, you can use the raise hand icon and I'll call on you to speak, okay? Or you can also use the chat box. Okay, so if you want to speak, you can use the raise hand icon and I would ask you to unmute. Okay, so let's say you have a business. You have a business and you want to increase profits. What would you do? Harry. All right, so Harry wants to speak. So Harry, I'm going to ask you to unmute now. Okay, so Harry, please go ahead.
For me to, first of all, good evening, everyone, and it's good to
Hello.
be here.
Of course.
Always an interesting moment to come here to learn. Okay,
Yeah.
to the question, first of all, I'd like to um, improve my promotions. That is to say, I'll make more adverts for my product or services. Thank you.
Okay, so Harvey says if he has a business and he wants to increase profit, he wants to make more money, bring in the Benjamins. So what is he going to do? He's going to take a look at increasing, sending, having ads, adverts, promotions, getting his brand, making his brand known. Okay, so that is what Harry is going to do. Fantastic, Harry. What about the rest of us? So, what are we going to do? I want to get more responses. Okay, like I said, guys, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Okay, we are going to have lots and lots and lots of fun. Okay, but we need to speak, we need to interact if that is going to be the case. So, I want to know if you have a business, I'll rephrase for those just joining in, okay, in case if you didn't get that. Okay, so I'm asking a question and I want us to speak. I want to get a response. And I said, if you have a business, okay, and you want to increase profit, you have a business and you want to increase profit, what would you do? Ari said he would run ads. What about the rest of us? So what would you do? Okay, Olamide, what would you do if you have a business? So you have a business and you want to increase profit. What would you do? The first thing that comes to mind, just let me know. So what's the first thing that comes to mind? Okay, I don't think I've gotten a response from Adioba yet. So I'm awaiting Adioba's response, Aisha response, Blessings response, Bridge, Christian, Cyril, AB, FBJ. I've gotten Harry's response, of course. Yet to get Oluwa Mayowa's response, Test Povin, and also Ola Lincoln's response. So Olamide says, I would increase the quality of my product first, provide excellent customer service. Okay, so Olamide says, I would increase the quality of my product. So if you want to make more money, you need to what? Increase quality. Aisha says, market my product by increasing visibility. Market my product by increasing visibility. Fantastic work, everyone. All of these are, nice insights. By the time we're done with the session today, many persons are going to know how they can go ahead to, increase sales in their business and make more money. Okay, for now, we've said different things. We've talked about the different things that we're going to implement, things that we're looking to do to actually get more sales, to get more profit. But I want to ask, let's say you've done those things. Okay, let's say you've done these things and you actually had increase in sales. Okay, let's say you went ahead to you marketed your product and your product, of course, you add more sales. You run ads, you add more sales. Okay, Blessing says I will take the ambience of my business premises into consideration. That's taking a look at your audience, who likes, your products, who does it appeal to the most. Okay, so let's say you've done all of these things. You what? You ran ads, you took into consideration your audience, you kept on marketing, increasing the visibility of your product, you also increased the quality of the product, and you had increase in sales. But you really want to know what caused the increase. Let's say a friend of yours. I hope you're following. Okay, so I'm painting a story here. Let's say a friend of yours sees that you are having success in your business. Oh, fantastic. Harry is doing well. Okay, Aisha is doing well. Aisha is doing amazingly well. A business just went from this level to this level in the space of 2 months, in the space of 3 months. Okay, and your friend wants to know, what did you do? Okay, what did you do that actually made you get that increase in sales? And then they come over to meet you and you tell them that, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this. But unlike you, they don't have the funds to be able to invest in every section. They don't have the funds to increase quality and, take a look at their audience, all of those things. They can only carry out one of those things, just one of the multiple things that you did. They can only just implement one. How would you know what to actually tell them? I'll rephrase. How would you know the single factor that is actually responsible for the increase in your business? Because you did a lot of things, and many of them, they will probably have, the parts that are played. Or so these play the role, this play the role, that play the role, and all of that. But your friend wants to know what do you think is that factor that caused that tremendous increase that you had? Because they would like to do the same. How would you be able to identify that? Okay, so how would you be able to identify? So test says keeping track of your data. Test is not really sure. So test says keeping track of your data. Test wants to be, at the middle. So if I say, oh no, it's wrong, test is all right because he never said it's right. And then if I say, oh no, yes, it's right, test is all right because he never said it's wrong. So test is trying to be at the middle. Say keeping track of your data. Good one, test. I'll get into that. Okay, good one. I want more persons to, respond. Okay. So Harry, what would you do? What would you say? Harry, what would you say? Let's say you've done all of those things. Your friend wants to know what is that single driving factor that's actually caused the increase. How would you identify that? Like I said, if you want to speak, share your insight with us. You can also use the raise hand icon and I will call on you to speak. Okay, so Tess says keeping track of your data. Do we agree with Tess? Or do we have some other ideas, something else that we think we can do? Kristen, what do you think you'll be able to do? Okay, so Kristen, what do you think you'll do to change that? Okay, Olamide, what do you think you'll do? Aisha, you gave an idea previously. Now, let's say you did all of those things. How would you know if your idea was the factor that actually caused the increase in sales? Okay, so Harvey would like to speak. So just a moment. Yes, Harvey, please go ahead.
So I'd like to carry out a profit analysis, and this will be able to let me into which of these factors actually increased my sales and made me more profits. Thank you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Harry, just hold up, okay? Harry just talked about carrying out profit analysis, which is also similar to what Test talked about, keeping track of your data. Now, Harry, let's say you don't know how to carry out profit analysis, okay? Would you, and let's say you don't know how to carry out profit analysis, and it is very crucial that you understand what is that factor that drove the profit in your business, because maybe next year you want to do the same thing, but next year you really don't have the funds to diversify in every aspect. But just like your friend, you want to identify that key thing, okay, but you don't have the skills to be able to carry out profit analysis. Would you be willing to employ someone that can carry out that analysis for you, carry out the profit analysis you mentioned, identify what is that factor that caused the increase in your business, so you can go ahead to do that same thing and of course increase profits without having to invest in multiple things? Okay, would you be willing to employ someone that can do that?
Yes, I'll be willing, because I understand that I'll be able to recoup whatever investment I will make in employing someone times 10.
Absolutely brilliant. That is business 101, people. Okay, that's business 101. That's if you are investing on something, you're looking to get higher returns. Harry said he would actually go ahead to employ someone that can carry out that profit analysis, okay, for him. So he's able to identify what is that driving factor that caused an increase in sales for him, that he will be able to, do that again for maybe the next year, the next 2 years, to keep on having an increase in sales. How is willing to employ that person? Okay. So test says, if I don't have money to increase the business, how will I have money to employ? So that is not what we are saying. So you do have money to increase the business, because don't forget, I talked about the fact that you as an individual, that you were able to take a look at the different investments, so you, of course, you went ahead to take a look at your market audience, you ran ads, you did all of these things. So you made substantial profits. Okay. But now you don't want to go into every other investment, because you believe that there's a single driving factor that caused the increase in your business, just like the way your friend asked you that question. Okay, so that is the basis for all of this. Okay, now Harry said he would be willing to employ. That brings us to what we are talking about today, which is, how can Power BI get you that job? Okay, how can Power BI get you that job? All right. Now, just like Harry, we have many, and I mean, when I say many, see, whatever you think many is, multiplied by 2. No, 2 is too small of number. Whatever you think many is, multiply it by 100. Okay? So if many to you is 50, if 50 items is many to you, multiply that by what? 100. And that is what? That should be around 5,000. Okay? So we have many organizations that are looking to employ people skilled in the use of data analytics tools, most especially Power BI, because data is being generated minute by minute, day by day. There's this fact that says that 90% of the current data, 90% of data available at the moment, it was generated just a few years ago. Because now we have internet, we have people using different applications, data has been generated frequently. And you have different kinds of data. You have the general business data, you have the employee data, you have the finance data, you have data, data everywhere. And companies need to be able to understand what this data says so they can make the right decision. Just like Harry. Harry wants someone that can go ahead to analyze profit, carry out profit analysis. So he's able to tell what is that driving factor that increased my profits. So he can keep on doing that over and over and over again to keep on increasing profits over and over and over again. How can Power BI get you the job? Okay, so we are going to take a look at Power BI today, and would also understand why you having the skill, you knowing how to use Power BI, increases your chances of you landing a job. Not just any job, a tech role. Not just any tech role. A role that you have good work-life balance. A role that you can work remotely. A role that you no longer dread Mondays. At the start of the session, I talked about that, oh, it's TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Okay, we've been having fun so far. Like I mentioned, the fact that you joined this call right now, it just made your day a whole lot better. Okay, but many of us on the call will probably dread Mondays again. When it's Sunday evening, you're in your bed, you're like, oh, tomorrow is Monday again. Oh, I have to go to work. I have to, take the bus. Some of us, we are doing things that we don't really like. So you want that role that you don't dread Mondays, because you love, you do something you love, just like the lady on my screen at the moment. You see she's smiling, she's just walking from, easy life. We'll take a look at how you can use Power BI to actually get you that kind of role. Are we ready to get into it? Are we good to go, everyone? So I need responses, okay? I need responses. So are we good to go? Oh, fantastic. So Olamide is good to go. Blessing is good to go. Okay. Olamide is good to go. Blessing is good to go. Fantastic. All right. Onyen is good to go. Harry is good to go. let's have a deep dive. Now, something to note, my colleague has been will be sending and has been sending the attendance form. Please ensure you fill in the attendance form, that you click on the link and you fill it in, because it's very, very important. So you get access to the materials, you get access to everything, the recording of the session, everything we're going to be doing today. Okay. So for you to get access to that, what do you do? Two things. Number one is that you ensure you fill in the form, click on the link, fill in the attendance form. And number two is that you have to ensure you stay till the end of the session, so you get full access to the recording and everything that we are going to be working with today. Okay? All right. Let's dive into it, guys. How can Power BI get you that well? But first of all, the four things we are doing, we take a look at how Power BI can get you that job. Okay? How Power BI can get you the job. We'll take a look at it, okay? Because that's what we're here for, all right? And then we'll take a look at the pathways for you to actually be a data analyst, HR analyst, financial analyst, or business analyst, because all of those paths, they are skilled, and they all of these career paths. If you want to go for any of these career paths, one thing that is sure is that you need to be able to utilize Power BI. And of course, we take a look at the internship, the 10 Analytics Growth Internship Program, and also a special discount offer to you. And then number 5, I think I should add number 5. There's no number 5, but number 5 would also take a look at so this for Olamide, because I promised Olamide that I'm going to get him something. All right, that I'm going to get you something, Olamide. So I have a gift for you. Okay, so so that would probably be our 5th task for the day. Okay, well, let's move on, guys. Now, but before we go into that, who is 10 Analytics, or what is 10 Analytics? Oh, when you hear about 10 Analytics, what's 10 Analytics? So what's 10 Analytics? Okay, especially for those of us that this might be the first time you are hearing about something like this. This is the first time you're joining one of our master classes. You've never joined a text any of our tech series. You're curious what's 10 Analytics? So 10 Analytics is an ed tech company that we are helping many people of the Black community to learn premium tech skills and get into tech roles, lowering the tech barrier. Okay, that's what we do, because we took a look at the current situation of things, and we noticed that when you take a look at tech in general and you're searching for people of the Black community, you're searching for Africans, you really don't see so much persons. Okay, so you see lots of the Indians, you see lots of other persons, but that's not the case when you take a look at Africans, when you take a look at the Black community. That's really not the case, and that's why we decided to try to get as many persons into tech, so you have that job that you always dreamed about, with all of those perks that you want, something that you love doing, something that you can say career growth. You know that, oh, at this point, I'm going to be here, something that you can earn well, okay, earn good money, so you can get your needs, and not just your needs, but most especially for you to be able to get your wants. So that's what we do here at Analytics, and we have 8 programs currently. We have data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, Scrum, cyber security. Okay, and one audit program that we're looking to launch in due time is the AI engineering. So please ensure you're following us and that you do stay tuned. Okay, our facilitators, we have facilitators from different industries, especially the Fortune 500 companies, facilitators that have lots and lots and lots of experience to ensure that you are learning from the best. Okay, but what about me? Who is this guy? So this guy has been speaking for a while now, saying, oh, TGIF, thank God it's Friday, that the fact I joined the session, that I'm going to have a fantastic time. But who are you? Who are you to tell me that I'm going to have a fantastic time in this session? Oh, if I don't want to have a fantastic time in this session, who are you to tell me that I should have a fantastic time in this session? Okay, so yeah, that's by the way. So you might be wondering, so who is this guy? Okay, so I'm Aishusa. Okay, I'm Aishusa Agbolaho, as you can see from the name tag. Okay, from the bottom left, my left at least, you can see my name, Aishusa Agbolaho, and the current lead in charge of training operations here at Analytics. A professional skilled in the use of in data analytics and business analysis, power platform engineering, also known as power platform development, and more recently predictive AI engineering. And I've been able to work for organizations across Africa, Europe, and of course the North America, helping them transform their critical business processes, literally taking them from where they are at the moment to where they want to be, using all of my skills sets. Okay, and I've been able to train over 1,500 professionals across 4 continents. So that's just bits and pieces about me. Okay, there are other fun things which maybe we might take a look at later, or not. Okay, but these are just the mundane things. Okay, but anyways, let's go ahead. How can Power BI get me that job? How can Power BI get you the job? How? We are going to see the problem a company has at the moment. And we are going to see the problems that we are going to see the problems that companies have in current climes. And we are going to see how we can use Power BI to solve that problem, thereby understanding why you having knowledge of Power BI increases your chances of you getting the job. Taking a look at how can Power BI get you that job. And we are going to have fun, of course. Okay, now what is the problem? We have a company. We call this company BCD. Okay, don't ask me why I went to BCD and not ABC. Okay, please don't ask me. I really don't know why. Okay, but we just go with company BCD. Okay, so let's say we have company BCD, and company BCD, they have a chain of retail stores. You know, they are big, you know, what you call retail giants. So they have a store everywhere. They have stores there, store there, you know, store everywhere. Even if you go outside right now, you open up your window and, you know, just take a peek outside, in front of your house, you're going to see that there's now a retail store just opposite you that reads company BCD. Okay, they are that big, and they want to understand their data, because they're looking to they're looking to carry out take some major decisions in terms of, oh, should we add in a new product to our product line? Should we take off some products? Should we just major decisions in terms of increasing their finances and their profit? Now, for them to be able to make this decision, they need to take a look at data. Because you might not be able to see this, but currently on my shirt, okay, what's written on my shirt, on my t-shirt? It says, if we have data, let's look at data. And if all we have are opinions, then let's go with mine. Okay? If we have data, let's look at data. And if all we have are opinions, then let's go with mine. What does that say? That says that no one wants to make decisions based on opinions, at least, you know, in current times. Okay, no one wants to make decisions based on opinions. No one cares. They want to make decisions based on data, so you ensure you know that you're making the correct decisions for whatever it is you're trying to do. And that's the same case for company BCD. And so we're going to go ahead to analyze the data, get insights, understand customer preferences. What do customers like buying? Understand what is the total revenue for company BCD like, and also understand the sales trend to help company BCD make decisions. All right. So what we're going to do, I'm going to send the data link where you can get the data set from to the chat box. So if you can follow along, so you follow along. But in case if you're not able to practice with me, don't worry. All you need to do, ensure you fill in the attendance form, and then you also stay to the end of the session. And of course, you will get the recording and the materials and everything you need to practice. Okay, so we are going to get the data set, and this is what the data set looks like. This is what the data set looks like. And we are going to convert these data sets into this report. We're going to convert this data set into this dashboard, so we are able to get insights from the data. We're able to understand things, because at the moment, there's really nothing you can tell me from this data. Like you're just seeing a bunch of things, but you really don't know, oh, what age category, or what are customers, what age category do they fall into in terms of customer preferences. Who do we appeal to? Our customer audience. Do we sell more to Gen Z? Do we sell more to Gen X? And just like that, you really can't tell. So we're going to convert this into this. Okay, so we're going to do that conversion using what? Power BI. We'll see how we're going to solve company BCD's problem using Power BI and see why companies want to go ahead to employ, people that are skilled in the use of Power BI. Okay. All right. So over here we have our Power BI. So this Power BI desktop. So you can download Power BI desktop is free. So you can download Power BI desktop from your browser, from the Microsoft Store, and all of that. Okay. So what you do to get the data sets, I'm just going to send that over. So I'll send that over to the chat box. So if you can follow along, then of course, please do so. Okay. I'll just give me a moment. All right. So here's the link. Here's the link. So just click on that, and it would then the data set would be downloaded automatically. Okay. So just click on that link, and you get it downloaded. Okay. Now, working with Power BI, we want to solve company BCD's problem. Okay. And when working with Power BI, there are two different concepts that you need to understand. Talking about your extract, your transform, and your load, also known as the ETL. Now, ETL is a concept that is used in data as a whole, not just in data analytics. And that's what we're going to be doing now. The first thing we're going to do is to get the data. Okay. And how do we do that? By extracting. How do we extract? We come over to this point, and you see there's this section that says get data. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and select get data. So I'll click on get data. All right. I click on get data, and what happens? I have this pop-up. What I do at this point is that I select the data source. The data source. The data set we are working with is an Excel file. Okay. The data set we are working with is an Excel file. So test, if you want to download Power BI, download it directly from the Microsoft website. Okay, just open up your browser, type in download Microsoft Power BI. Okay, the first link you'd see, it's usually Microsoft website. You can click on that and get it downloaded, or you can also download it from your Microsoft Store. All right, so we are going to go ahead to locate we're going to go ahead to select the data source. What is the data source? The data source is what? Excel. It's Excel. Because when you downloaded the data set, you might have noticed it was an Excel file. So our data is coming from what? Excel. So I'll go ahead and select Excel workbook, and then I'll click on connect. Okay. Now this would open up my file explorer or file manager. Okay. And then what I do is that I locate my file, the file I just downloaded. So wherever it is, if maybe it's in your document, in your desktop, in your music, pictures, videos, just locate the file. Okay. Mine is in the downloads. So I'm going to come over to downloads, and I'll select retail sales data sets. Okay. I'll click on that, select that, and then I'll click on open. Click on open, and then wait for that to pop up. Okay. So just wait for it to come up. Okay. So it's establishing a connection. So what it's doing at the moment is that it's trying to create some sort of pipeline with between Power BI and the data set. All right. And then it will store it in what I like to call the Power BI Force Cloud. Okay. I like to call it the Power BI Force Cloud. It's really not Power BI Force Cloud. It's actually called the Navigator. I just went ahead to give it that name. Okay, but yeah, so it should open up anytime now. Okay, and then yeah, it is. So at the top, you see it says Navigator. All right, but I think it should actually be called the Force Cloud because it's not yet in Power BI. It's just somewhere. Okay, it's like the clouds, not really the cloud. That's why I said Force Cloud. Okay, but anyways, so this is my data, I'm going to click on retail sales data set to select the data set. So this is the data set. This is the data set. Now, I've extracted. Next is the transform. What is transform? Let's say you you want to buy a car. You want to buy what? A car. And the car, when you go to the car dealer shop and then you see the car you want to buy, but it's in red. Or okay, no, let's not say it's in red. You want to buy a car and you want to buy blue. The car you want to buy should be the color blue. You go to the shop, the attendant, whoever is pitching, the cars to you and all of that, come over, and then you tell them, oh, I'm looking to get this car. And they say, oh, fantastic, we have this. And then they bring in the car, but you notice the car is red. That's the color. Okay, the car is what? Red. So, but you want a blue car. What would you do? You tell the person, oh, I don't want red, I want blue. Simple as that, straight to the point. You don't need to think about it too much, okay? So it's not a puzzle. All right, I'm not asking, the question is not a puzzle, it's just straight to the point. You tell the person what? I want a blue car. And then what would happen? A blue car will be given to you. Or maybe the red car will be painted blue or something, okay? Now, why did I talk about that? That is similar to what transform is all about. Transform is when you don't like the data set as it is, and you want to make changes to the data set. You go ahead to transform your data. Transforming is like, let's say you were given a horse. You don't want a horse, you want a rabbit. Then you change the horse to a rabbit. That is what transforming is all about. Let's say you go to the ice cream shop and you want to get ice cream. You want 2 cones, okay? And you want strawberry and chocolate, okay? You want strawberry and chocolate. And you're giving vanilla, okay? You're giving vanilla. What would you do? You tell them, oh, I don't want vanilla. I actually want strawberry, or I actually want chocolate. That is what? Transformation. In transforming, you carry out things like your data cleaning, your data filtering, your data enrichment, all of those things. Converting your data from what you don't like into what you like and what you want and what is tasty. Okay? So doing all of that transformation, it's in the Power Query. You do that in Power Query, but we're not going to be transforming our data because we wanted strawberries. And what we have at the moment is strawberry. We wanted chocolate. And what we have at the moment is chocolate. Okay, so we are not going to go ahead to change our chocolate asking for vanilla because that is not what we want. All right, so we are not going to be transforming the data. Instead, we are going to skip transform and then we go into loads directly. All right, so I'm going to come over here and then I will click on load. Or you know what? Let's take a look at transform. Let's see what the transform environment looks like. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll click on transform. Okay, so this is going to open up in Power Query. All right, so just wait for that to open up. Okay, so this is what Power Query. This is where all of the transformation occurs. Everything looks great. Everything looks crisp and clean. We need so we're not going to be making any change to this, but this is Power Query. Okay, so you notice that this says Power Query Editor. So we are no longer on Power BI Desktop. We are now on Power BI Editor. All right, but everything looks good. Like I said, we already have chocolate, so I'm going to go ahead to take my chocolate. So I'll click on Close and Apply, and then I'll be taken back to Power BI Desktop, and I'll just click on Close and Apply. Okay, so I'm taking back to Power BI Desktop. And then the changes should be applied now. Okay, so it's loading. All right, so loading data. All right. So the data has been loaded. So we just wait for the data to pop up on the data panel and get us. So we are now going to go ahead to transform this data. All right. So this is the table view. So this should come up anytime now. All right. So we're going to go ahead to transform this data into that report I showed earlier. Okay. We're going to transform the data into this. This is what we are going to be transforming that data into. All right. Now, for us to get that done, one thing I like to do, okay, one thing I like to do is to style the dashboard. It's not really necessary, but you also want to make your dashboard aesthetically pleasing. Okay, something pleasing to the eyes that when you take a look at it, it looks nice. So I'm just going to insert a shape. I'm going to use a shape to style the dashboard. So I'll come over to my insert ribbon. I'll click on insert. And then over here, I have shapes. So I'll select shapes and I'll click on the rectangle. So I'm going to select the rectangle shape. And then I'll just bring this over here. Okay. And then I will change the color. I can change the color by coming over to format shape, ensure it's selected. I'll come over to format shape. And then over here, I have style. I'll click on style. And then I can change the color. All right, so there are different colors I can choose from, and I'm going to work with these dark, like ink blue or something. So we have so many colors, but I'm just going to go with this, okay? Any color you want, it's fine. All right, so I have my dashboard. The first thing I would want to know, because we are solving a problem here, we're not yet to play, okay? We are solving a problem, and what's the name of the company? Company BCD. Okay, so we are solving a problem for company BCD. They want to get insights on their data to understand what they should do. And one thing that we want to do, we'd want to take a look at, I think the first thing we should do, let's take a look at their customer base, what their customer base is like. And when I say customer base, what do I mean? Let's take a look at what the age category that they actually sell more to. All right. So they know, oh, who are we actually pleasing to? Who buys our product the most? Is it Gen Z? Is it Gen X? Is it millennials? So whenever they are going to, launch ads or career promotions, they know the specific target audience. This is just like what Harry mentioned earlier. Harry mentioned that he's going to run ads. And then Aisha also talked about understanding the ambience of the business. Okay. And that is what we are about to do. We want to understand what is the customer base like. So if we want to go ahead to launch ads, we want to go ahead to run promotions, we know what the ads are going to look like. For example, if your target audience is Gen Z, then you want the ads to be, like lots of fun, people jumping, dancing, maybe colors, all those, things that are pleasing to Gen Z. And if it's maybe to the millennials, the older generation or the baby boomers, then you want to have ads that are, easy to understand, straight to the point, no much talk. Oh, I sell this, come and buy, something like that. Okay. Because boomers, they probably don't have so much time to, go through things that everything is changing, people are dancing and all of that. So understanding your target audience will help you. And that's what we want to do. To get that done, I'm going to work with the column chart. So I'm going to select the column chart. I'll click on the column chart. And then here it is. So I'll just bring this over here. Okay. And then I would populate the visual. Okay. I'll populate the visual. So I'll come over to data. I'll click on the drop down. I have a bunch of columns to work with. What are we interested in seeing? What do we want to see? We want to see the customer base, right? The customer base that purchased the most from us. That's revenue by age category. So I'm going to place my age category. I'll drag age category down to the x-axis. And then over here, you see I have total amount. So I'm going to drag total amount to what? The y-axis. And then I have something like this. Okay. And from this, you would notice that we have millennials, we have Gen X, Gen Z, and boomers. And millennials actually do make more purchases from us. It's not Gen Z. It's not Gen X. with this, you might not have been able to tell with this. When you take a look at the data set, you would not be able to tell if, oh, it's actually Gen X or Gen Z that, brings in the most money to the company. You won't be able to tell with this data. But with this, you can tell. Okay, you can see that what? It's the millennials bringing in around 153,000. And then next we have Gen X with 150,000. We have Gen Z with 107,000. And then we have the boomers with what? 44,000. Easy. With this now, company BCD would be able to make decisions, crucial decisions about how their ads, how they should run their ads, their target audience, how they should go about placing certain things in the market to ensure that they get who they want, because they already know who they are appealing to, and they can go ahead to get things done in the right way. Okay? All right. Now, based on this, you see we have the millennials. We have what? The Gen X. We have the Gen Z, and we also have the boomers. Based on this, let's say there are three products: clothing, beauty, and electronics. Three product categories. Okay? Company BCD. Okay? Company BCD. I'm pretty sure one thing that you would remember from today's session is the fact that there was a company named BCD. Okay? So let's say company BCD actually they have three product categories. They have the electronics, they have the clothing, and they also have the beauty products. Based on this age category, based on what we can see at the moment, that millennials take the cake, Gen X, then we have Gen X, Gen Z, and boomers. Which product do you think would do which product do you think would be doing the best in the market? Okay, which product do you think company BCD would be selling the most of? What do we think, guys? So come on, let's use the chat box. Okay, let's use the chat box. Based on this, we have three different product categories. We have beauty, electronics, and clothing. Beauty, electronics, and clothing. These three product categories. We can see what our customer base looks like. Now, based on the states, which product category do you think would be performing the best in the market? Abby says clothing. Okay, Abby is of the opinion that it will be clothing. Olamide and Emmanuel say electronics. All right, Abby is of the opinion clothing, because let's see, millennials, we have millennials and Gen X. Those guys are, like, they are the parents of the generation, of this generation. Okay, so the parents of the generation saying, let's say maybe 35, 40, late 40s, mid 40s, late 30s. So they'll be more interested in getting clothes. And Olamide and Emmanuel said, no, I think it's the electronics. Kristen says electronics as well. Kristen also thinks it's electronics. But what does the data say? Because don't forget, this I mentioned this phrase at the start of the session that says, if we have data, let's look at data. But if all we have are opinions, then let's go with mine. So Olamide has an opinion, Abby has an opinion, Emmanuel has an opinion, and Kristen has an opinion. Who should we go with? We don't know. Let's take a look at data. Now, for this question, I'm going to be working with, I'm going to style the dashboard first of all. Okay, so let me style it so it's a whole lot easier to, just so we don't waste much time on styling. Okay, so I'll just style this column chat. So I'll click on that. I'll come over to my visualizations, and then I'm going to change the colors of the columns. So I'm going to expand. I just go down to columns, and then I'll change the color to, have the same like the backgrounds, the color of the rectangle. And then I'll also I'll take off the grid lines because I don't really need the grid lines. I believe in I believe in less is more. So the less the information, the easier it is to actually understand what the dashboard says. Okay, so I would also come over to general, and then I'm going to turn on the border. I'll turn on the visual border, and I'll just give this rounded corners of, let's say, 9 pixels. All right, so we have something like this. Okay, so we have what? Something like this. So I'm not going to copy this, so I don't have to start inserting the visuals over and styling over and over and over again. Okay, that's a bit of a bit of work. So now let's not do that. Okay, what we're interested in is seeing how we can use Power BI to solve competent BC this problem. Okay, so I'm just going to copy. I'll copy this. I'll paste. I'll just bring this over here, and then I guess I'm going to take off, so I'll take off because I'm going to take off the x-axis and y-axis, and then I'll change this to a bar chart. Now, we want to check, we want to see what product does well for us, okay? Based on the age category, we've seen that millennials and Gen X quite up there. Now, what product do they like to purchase? Let's see. So I'm going to drag product category down to I'm going to drag product category down to the y-axis, and then I'm thinking this time we should go with amounts. Let's see the quantity, the product that does the most, that does well the most, like the one that is always being purchased over and over and over again. So I'm going to drag quantity down to x-axis. All right, I'll drag quantity down to the x-axis, and then we have this. We have this. And we can see that although the margin is not so large, but clothing takes the cake with 194 items. Next, we have electronics, and then, of course, we have beauty items. So we can see that Abby was right. Olamide, Emmanuel, and Kristen were also right. But Abby was more right, if there's any term like that. So I'll place that in quotes. Okay, so yeah. So that's why it says they say if we have data, let's look at data. But if all we have are opinions, then let's go with mine. Are we following everyone? So test, all right, so I will get into that, okay? So I'll get into that test, okay? So are we all following? Are we good? So if you're with me, send the 1 to the chat box. Just send the number 1 to the chat box. If you know you're with me, just send the 1 to the chat box. All right, so I want to know if we've been following so far. All right, so Emmanuel is with me. Olamide is with me. All right. Bemisola, are you with me? James, are you with me? Joy, are we following? Are we understanding the concept? So we're actually using Power BI to solve a problem, to understand the data. Okay. Adioba is with me. Fantastic Blessing is with me as well. Test is with me. Amazing. Okay, great. So Abby is also with me. Okay. So now that we've been able to take a look at these 2 items, we are not done. I want us to take a look at what the gender distribution is like. Because like I said, BCD is looking to make some major decisions. We've understood what the product, the age category, we've understood the product category. Let's take a look at the gender distribution. Do they sell more to males or do they sell more to females? Who is most likely to purchase the item? All right, let's see. So I'll just try to resize all of this. Okay, so just a moment. Okay, so just want to ensure it's the same size. I love things being, as straight and as aligned as they can possibly be. So I'm going to copy and paste these, and then okay, just a moment. I'm going to increase the size I'm going to increase the size of the canvas so I have more space to work with. Okay, so I think I can make this 1350 pixels. Okay. All right. So this looks good. All right. So we want to find out the gender distribution, what the gender distribution is like. And for this question, I want us to work with the pie chart or the donut chart, okay? Because the donut chart and the pie chart, they are both used when you want to see ratio. As something varies with another, oh, this makes up 50% or this makes up 40%, as the case may be. So I'm going to select the donut chart, and then I'm going to drag my gender down to legend. And because I want to find out the gender distribution, that is, I want to count, oh, how many males, how many females, and all of that. So I'm also going to take gender down to values. And with this, we can see that the males actually represent 49% of our customer base, and the females represent 51% of our customers. So it's very, very, there's really no difference. Okay, so there's really no difference. So based on this, you might have been thinking, oh, I think it's the females because of the clothing and the beauty items, okay? But that's not what the data says. The data is currently telling us that in terms of our customer base, we are appealing to both genders, okay? So that's what we can see at the moment. Again, if you have data, let's look at data. All right, and we are taking a look at data. All right, so I'm just going to change the slices. Can make this just change the slices. Okay, so we have something like this. Now, next thing I would want us to see, let's take a look at the sales trend. Because one thing you would also want to do, let's say you go ahead to run ads for your business. You would want to understand what your sales, so let's say you run ads for your business. You want to understand how the ads are performing, I believe. Okay, so you want to know, oh, in January, I had 5,000 leads, and in February, I had 2,000 leads, and then in March, I had, 10,000 leads, and all of that. That's what a trend is. A sales trend in this case is that it's going to show us what our sales is like over time. Oh, we had a rise in January, and then we had a dip in February. Oh, we had a rise in March, and then we had a dip in June. Things like that. If you're familiar with, with Forex, the stock exchange, you should be familiar with trends, whereby you have the drop, you have a rise, you have a drop, you have a rise, and all of that, okay? So we are going to go ahead to work with the line chart. So I'm going to insert the line chart, but first I'll just copy this and paste. Now bring this to the bottom. Okay, I'll just expand. So I'm going to change this to a line charts. And then I'll select line charts. I'll just take off all of this. Now I want to see the sales trend. So I'll bring dates to x-axis, and then I'll bring my product, my total amount, sorry. I'll bring my total amount to the y-axis. Okay, the product to the x-axis, and then my total amount to my x-axis. Or instead of working with the total amount, let's see what the quantity is like. So I'm going to place my quantity on the y-axis. Okay, so now you see I have this straight line. That's because at the moment I can see year, quarter, month, and day. So I'm not really interested in all of these. I only want to see by months. So I want to be able to tell, oh, this is the number of items I sold in January, and this is the number of items I sold in February, in March, and all of that. So I'm going to take off year, and then we have the quarter. I'll take off quarter. I don't want the quarter, and then I'll also take off the day. So I have for the months. And with this, you can see we've had peak sales in January with 259 items, and then in October with 252 items. I could also decide to take a look at the sales if I want to compare based on sales. And then with sales, we can see we made more sales in terms of the amount, 53,000 in May. And then in September, we had lower sales in September. Okay, so this is how we are using Power BI. So what I place on the x-axis and what I place on the y-axis, it's all about me understanding the charts and the graphs. Okay, when working with your line chart, your column chart, your line chart and column chart, they are similar. So on that, what you might want to use is that whatever you're comparing goes to the x-axis, and the basis for comparison goes to the y-axis. That can also be converted into the quantity, the numbers go to the x-axis, go to the y-axis, and then the letters go to the x-axis. But that is not always the case for every visual, because visuals change. Okay, visuals change. Okay, all right. But so I might not really be able to go into much detail as to how to know what to place on the x-axis on the y-axis right now. But anyways, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so Ari, I see you on this way, so I'll take questions, at the end of the session. So, oh, you know what? Let me take your question now. You know what? Ari, I'm going to ask you to unmute so you ask your question because I believe it's regarding this. Okay, Ari, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I seriously lost out. I was grappling so seriously to understand this last concept, especially as regards to what what determines where the x-axis and where the y-axis should be. This last example this line graph is where
Yes.
I got lost. So if you could use this one to explain it all again, I think I'll be fine.
Fantastic. Yeah, of course, that's fine. So, if you have knowledge of charts and graphs, your graphs, your charts, that works. That's fantastic. That would help you a lot. Okay. Every chart in Power BI, or at least most charts and visuals, they have their different categories. Not everything has x-axis and y-axis. For example, let's look at the funnel chart. You see something like category, you have values. If I also select the scatter chart, you see you have values, x-axis, y-axis. If I also select the tree map, I have category, I have details. If I also select, let's say, the ribbon chart, then you also have x-axis, y-axis. Your gauge, you begin to see things like value, minimum value, maximum value, and all of that. Okay, so every visual they have their own criteria for what you should place on different sections, okay, on different fields. But for the line chart, what goes to the x-axis? On your line chart, you know that the values, the numbers go to the y-axis. That's just the way it is on line charts. Your line chart, your column chart, the lines and your values go to the y-axis. And that is the reason why on the y-axis, I have what amount, because amount, that's why I have this amount. You can see 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K. And then on the x-axis, I have my date, showing me the date. So this is just your standard visual, your standard graphs. So back in school, okay, so maybe depending on what you studied in college, okay, but back in high school, so you probably had this, you worked with charts, graphs, and all of those things. So that knowledge actually does apply, yeah. Okay, that knowledge applies here. But a very, very quick hack, at least this works for your line chart. Your numbers go to y-axis and your text goes to the x-axis. All right, so I'm going to go ahead to change the color of the line. So I'll just come over to lines, and then I will select color, and then I will make these so everything makes sense. Okay, next, we've been able to get insights for BCD, but let's also display KPIs. Now, what are KPIs? KPIs are key performance indicators. They are quantifiable measures that you use to track performance. They need to be numerical. That's things you can count. Something that you can tell that 1 and 2, there's a distinct difference between 1 and 2. KPIs, example of KPIs are your revenue, your quantity, the total number of customers. And those are things that we are going to show on our dashboard. So that when we present this to the BCD stakeholders, they're able to tell, oh, this is the amount that we made. Oh, this is the number of customers we have. Oh, this is the number of items that we sold. All right. So to get that done, I'm going to insert my shape, just to style things up. Not this, I'll delete that. I'm going to insert my rounded rectangle. And I'll just bring this over here. Try to reduce the space a bit, the size a bit. Okay, and then for the style, I'll make this white. And then for my KPIs, I'm going to be working with my, so I think I can change the border. Let's make this black. For my KPIs, I'm going to be working with my card visual. Okay, so I'm going to select card. I'll select my card visual and I'll bring this over here. Now, the first thing I want to see is the revenue, the total revenue. So I'm going to drag revenue. Where's my revenue? That's my total amount. So I'm going to drag that to fields. And then we have this. So just like that, I'm able to see the total amount of money that BCD made, 456,000. I'm going to style my visual. So I'll change the background. So I'll come over to effects. I'll change the background. And then for the colored value, I'll make this white so I can see what's written in there. Could also reduce this to, let's say, 37 pixels. And then I'll turn off the category label. I'll use the title instead. Now for the title, I'm going to say revenue. I'm going to type in revenue. I'll make this white. And I would also center this. I'll make this bold. And I can increase the font size. So this is just me styling, making things look better. Okay, so we have revenue. Or let me use total revenue instead. Okay, so let me say total revenue. Okay, total revenue. And then I'm going to turn on the border and give these 9 pixels. So it has rounded corners, just like this. Okay, so I'm going to, all right, so yeah, I'll try to slow down, okay, but like I mentioned earlier, so the recording will be sent across. The reason why I'm just, going through this very quickly is because of the styling, okay, so I'm just styling things, but when I'm explaining concepts, of course, I'll take my time to explain concepts, okay, but if you're not able to follow along, please ensure you fill in the attendance form and that you also stay to the end of the session, so you get the materials, the recording, everything you need to do to practice and to get this done yourself. Okay, so this is the total revenue, 456,000. I'm going to duplicate this because I also want to be able to see the total the total quantity and also the total number of customers. Okay, so I would resize. Okay, and then I'll bring this to the top. I'm going to edit all of this anyways. Okay. All right. So this is just me styling. Next, I'm going to take this off. And then what do I want to see now? I want to see the total number of items. The total number of items we had to sell to make 456,000. So I'm going to drag quantity down to fields. And we had to sell 2,514 items to get this amount. I would also rename, so I'll come down to my format visual, to general, to title. I'm going to rename, I'll say this would be total quantity. And then lastly, this would represent the total number of customers I have. So I'm going to drag customer ID because I want to count the total number of customers. I'll bring that over to fields. All right, and then At the moment, it says first customer ID. That's not what I want. So I'm going to click on the drop down. Over here, you see I have this drop down. I'll click on the drop down and I'll select count distance or count. Any of them is actually fine. Okay. So I have 1,000 customers, and then I will change the title. So I'll say number of customers. Number of customers. Okay. And we have something like this. Okay. So this looking good. Our report is almost complete. One other thing I want to do is to add in a title, a name. Give a name to the report. I'm going to use the text box. So I'll come over to the insert ribbon. And then over here, you see I have a text box. So I'll click on the text box. And I have this. I'm going to increase the font size to, let's say, 40. And I'll just type in sales dashboard. You can really give any name you want. So I'll say sales dashboard. And yeah, so I'm going to take off the background. So just turn off the background. I'll just highlight all of these and make this white. Okay. And then I think I have something like this. Sales dashboard. All right, this is looking good already. So before we go ahead to present this to the BCD stakeholders, because we are going to present this, we are going to have a presentation. We tell them that, look here. So we notice that the total revenue for the company is 456,000, and that the sum of our customer base, we are more tilted towards the millennials and the Gen X. In terms of gender distribution, we are, equal. We don't have any issues there. Most performing product is the clothing, but the disparity is not so large. Okay, so when you take a look at clothing, electronics, and beauty, they are really at the same plane. And then in terms of sales, we made more sales in May. So we would want to find out what we did in May, so we can replicate that for other months to ensure that we keep getting more money. We're going to present. But when presenting, we might want to actually do a deep dive into the data set. We might want to actually try to understand things a whole lot more. Because at the moment, this is just at face value. What am I saying? We might want to add in a slicer. What is a slicer? A slicer is meant to filter your dashboard, to provide more insights that you might not see at first glance. Example, maybe you want to know what item did we sell in March? Okay, what item did we sell in March or in May that made us make this, this amount of money? Or which months did we sell more clothing? Just to filter the entire dashboard. I'm going to come over to my visualizations, and then over here, I have my slicer. So I'm going to select slicer. And then I want to filter the dashboard based on the product category. Okay, so I'm going to drag product category down to fields. And then I have two product categories. So I'm going to style these. So I'll come over to format visual. I'll click on slicer setting. On style, I have vertical list. I'll change that to drop down. Let's go with tile. So I'll change that to tile. So this is me just trying to make things nicer. So I'll just bring this over here. Okay. And then I can maybe take off the background. And then I'll turn on the border. I'll make this white. 9 pixels as well. So this is just me styling the dashboard. And then for the title, I'll come back to slicer settings. For the values, that's for those values. I'm going to change the background. Okay, and then for the values, I'll make them white so we can read what's written. Maybe also increase the font size a bit. And then for the slicer header, I'll also make this white and increase the font So I can't seem to increase the fonts. Let me use a title instead. So I'll come over to title, just turn that on. And I would say product category. And this would be white, of course. All right. For the values, I'm also going to try to increase to make the borders light. I'll come over to border, and now select white. So I have something like this. Okay. Now, let's see the slicer in action. Let's say we want to understand what the beauty product actually looks like. Like, do we have more males or more females that purchase beauty items? So I can come over to beauty and select beauty. Okay, and what happens? My entire dashboard changes. All right, now I can see the total number of the total amount we made from beauty items alone. We made 144K from beauty items alone. We sold 771 beauty items, and we had 207 customers that made purchases for beauty items. And for our beauty products, we sold more beauty products in July. And we can see that the females, we have 54% of females that purchase beauty items, and 45% that purchase that's for the males that purchase beauty items. And in terms of our age category, the age category that purchases beauty items from us the most is actually Gen X, bringing in 51,000. Is this not exciting? Okay, that is just for beauty alone. Let's say I want to take a look at clothing. I can click on clothing, and what happens? So I click on clothing, and for clothing, you see that we actually sold more clothing in May. So it seems that the reason why we had more sales in May, in the month of May, was because of the clothing. Okay, and we can see the total amount, the revenue we made from clothes. The Gen X buys more clothes, and then if I select electronics, we can see that we also sold many electronics in May, bringing in 23,000. Millennials purchase electronics more, and in this, the amount made from electronics. And of course, I can just deselect that to take us back to our original report. This is a dashboard that solves a problem. With this, BCD would be able to understand what to do next. With this, BCD would know, oh, so we're looking at launching a product. Oh, from what we can see, I think we should launch clothing products, because we've noted that clothing seems to be doing very well. All right. Or we can see that, so we wanted to launch a boomers collection, or at the moment, we're not really doing well for boomers. Boomers are not purchasing our products a lot. And I heard the boomer market is, very, very lucrative, very nice. So why don't we try to make our ads more boomer-centric, in quotes, okay? Or why don't we try to get some more items that would increase the boomers, that's the age category for boomers, that would increase the level. So we have more boomers purchasing items from us. With this, BCD can make decisions. All right. So can this be done with Excel? Yes, I can do this with Microsoft Excel. But doing this with Excel will take a whole lot more work. All right. A whole lot more work. Because then you need to start taking a look at pivot tables, working with your get pivot data function, and all of that. It's a whole lot more work, okay, than Power BI. So Power BI makes things very, very straightforward, gives you insights, and that is why companies want people that can use Power BI. I need this data. Just like that, you've gotten insights. You've been able to have a presentation. Abby, we need a presentation on our sales by Friday, okay? We want to make sales. So during the board meeting, would want you, Abby, to give a presentation. And Abby is like, oh, no problem. Abby goes into Power BI, gets her stuff done, prepares her presentation, her slides, and during the board meeting, she blows everyone away, Okay, so she has the projector, and then she's presenting, and all of those are amazing things. All right. Now, is it just enough for you to know Power BI? Because you might be wondering, oh, I should say you say the Power BI can get you the job. Yes, it can. But does that mean that if I just know Power BI, that's enough? Working with Power BI, am I going to be the Power BI analyst? Working with Power BI is one of the tools that you would need to actually be part of four different career paths. Talking about the business analyst, the data analyst, the HR analyst, and also the financial analyst. Now, who is a data analyst? A data analyst is someone that knows how to use Power BI fantastically well. That's putting it short. A data analyst is someone that knows how to use all the analytical tools, not just Power BI alone. That's just expanding a little. A data analyst is someone that can tell what happened and why it happened. A data analyst is someone that can tell you that, oh, this is what happened in the organization, just like we've done. We've been able to take a look at what we call descriptive analytics. And a data analyst can also know, oh, this is why it happened. Oh, this is why we actually have more millennials purchasing items from us. Or this is why we're selling more clothing than other items. A data analyst is someone that is responsible for analyzing and interpreting data to generate insights and support data-driven decisions. A data analyst is someone that would go ahead to analyze general business data and help BCD make decisions. All right? Who is a business analyst? Just like the data analyst, a business analyst also needs to know how to use Power BI. Because what we are taking a look at now is that, oh, if you want, Power BI can get you that job, right? Now, Power BI is going to get you the job as one of those in one of these career paths. So we are taking a look at the different career paths that you can implement. That Power BI should be one of your core skills. A business analyst is someone that analyzes the organizational business processes. A business analyst is a person that you are more interested in identifying bottlenecks in the business. So this is what the business is doing at the moment. What are we not doing well? How can you go ahead to identify those bottlenecks to transform the business processes and get them to do what is right? What do I mean? A business analyst is someone that takes a company from where they are at the moment to where they want to be. A business analyst is someone that is always speaking with stakeholders. Oh, we want to launch a new product. Oh, what do the stakeholders want? What do we need to do to get this up and running? A business analyst still needs to know how to work with data analytical tools. Power BI, an example. Because those tools would enable the business analyst to be able to work in their function, work in their role more appropriately to assist them in identifying the bottlenecks in a company's processes, working with tools like your Draw.io and all of that, which I'll get into. Okay, again, who is a data analyst? A data analyst is someone that analyzes companies' data, descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics. A business analyst is someone that analyzes organizational business processes, systems, and stakeholders to identify improvements and solutions to business challenges. Who is a financial analyst? A financial analyst is a data analyst. But a financial analyst is a data analyst that focuses on what? Finance data. A financial analyst is someone that helps an organization identify areas that they should invest in. A financial analyst is someone that helps an organization monitor their financial health. A financial analyst is someone that is a finance maestro and is also armed with data analytical tools. A financial analyst needs to know how to use Power BI. Who is a HR analyst? A HR analyst is someone that analyzes people data. A data analyst, but a data analyst that focuses on data. And not just any data, but people data, employee data. There are different pillars to an organization. And one of those pillars are the people that make up the business. It's one of those things that will determine if a business succeeds or not. And that's the reason why you need appropriate people management. This is where HR analytics come in. HR analyst is a HR professional that is armed with data analytical tools, transcending your mundane HR roles of just applying for leaves, or someone wants to apply for leave, or they come apply for leave, or employee is absent, or the employee is absent, or it's time to pay salary, all of those normal HR things. No, HR analytics has transcended that. An HR analyst is someone that does all of that, but does it with data. A HR analyst is a data analyst that is armed with data analytics tools, focuses on people data, helping the organization reduce attrition rate, helping the organization increase performance, helping the organization ensure that they actually acquire top-notch talent. All of those career paths, you need to know how to use Power BI. Your data analyst, the business analyst, financial analyst, and also the HR analyst. For you to be in any of those parts, there are different things you need to do. For example, the business analyst. For you to be a successful business analyst, you need to know different areas. It's not just, you need Power BI. It's very, very important. You need Power BI, but Power BI is not the only thing you need. You need your Excel, Power BI, and your SQL. Because as a business analyst, you are going to be working with people, you are going to work with stakeholders, but you need those data tools to assist you in your role. Because in current times, we've noticed that recruiters want business analysts that have a flavor of data analytics. And that is the reason why you need these two different tools. Your SQL, of course, to interact with company databases, because we're in the world of big data, and companies now many companies store their data in what? In databases. And that is what you need SQL for. You need to know about your process mapping. How you map out processes using your draw.io, your Lucid chart. You need to know how you initiate projects, your project initiation plan, your Agile and Scrum for project, your software development lifecycle, the SDLC. The company is looking to build a new project. The company is looking to launch something new. How do you go ahead to ensure that to move from step to step in terms of actually building the product? The SDLC has different steps. You have your planning. Oh, this is what we're looking to build. Your initiation, your testing, your debugging, and all of that. Your requirement fundamentals, your elicitation, your stakeholder analysis, your ChatGPT for business analysis. Because we're in the world of AI. AI is not going anywhere anytime soon. And you want to ensure that you are in tune with current times. You want to ensure that you are the one that you are able to keep up. You want to ensure that you know how to use AI to increase your performance as a business analyst. And that's why we have ChatGPT for business analysis. You need all of these tools. A data analyst. For you to be a data analyst, Power BI is not just enough. You need your problem-solving skills. Because as a data analyst, you need to be able to solve problems. You can't say you're a data analyst and you can build dashboards and you can solve problems. Then you're not a data analyst, you're a dashboard builder. And no one wants to employ a dashboard builder. Okay? People want to employ data analysts. This is what I noticed. This is what I think we can do to solve the problem. And that is why over here at Analytics, in the data analytics course, your very first class, you go through problem solving, learning the different problem solving methods, your the 5 whys, the Quips DM framework, your McKinsey model, and all of that. And of course, you need your Excel, which is your bread and butter as a data analyst. Your SQL for you to interact with databases. Your Power BI, very, very important. Your Tableau. So the Tableau and Power BI, they do the same thing, okay? Not in most parts. So you want to ensure that you're armed with knowledge of Power BI and you are armed with knowledge of Tableau. So it doesn't matter when you're applying for jobs, if the company say, oh, I want someone that can use Tableau, oh, you're fantastic, you are good to go. If the company says, oh, I want someone that can work with Power BI, no problem, you don't sweat it. Why? Because you are good to go. And of course, you have your data storytelling, because as a data analyst, you are going to be presenting, you are going to have presentations. We just built a report. That report would need to be presented to what? BCD. You're not going to send over the report. You're going to need to present it over to the stakeholders. You're going to need to speak on it. You're going to need to be able to communicate the insights from the data. And that is the reason why you have your data storytelling. Very, very important for you to be a data analyst. Your ChatGPT for analytics and your Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. Microsoft Fabrics is a relatively new tool. It's a platform that was launched by Microsoft to get organizations to do everything relating to data on one platform, whereby you can interact with your data, you can build your data models, get your data. If you're a data scientist, data engineer, data analyst, Microsoft Fabrics, everything related to data in the organization is done on one platform. Okay? So that's Microsoft Fabrics. So it's relatively new, okay? And many organizations are already migrating to Microsoft Fabric. So you want to also ensure that you're familiar with this tool, because over here at Analytics, we are in tune with current trends, always updating our curriculum. And that's the reason why you have Microsoft Fabrics. So whenever whenever a company is looking to move into Microsoft Fabrics, then you're already a pro. Than people that's old, now they're trying to learn about it. For you to be a financial analyst, you also need some of the skills of a data analyst, your problem solving, your Excel, your Power BI, and your SQL. But that's not enough, because you are a financial analyst. So you need to do a deep dive into the financial analytics. And that's the reason why, in addition to your data analytics skills, you then begin to move into accounting fundamentals. Okay, your financial analysis, how you can build financial modeling, how you can carry out valuation, sensitivity, and scenario analysis. And similar thing for the HR analyst. You get all your data analytics skills, your problem solving, Excel, Power BI, SQL, and then of course your HR analytics and performance evaluation. How can you identify, how can you evaluate the performance of employees in the organization? How can you know what are the different HR metrics and what is the HR life cycle like? Your HR analysis and dashboarding, your collaboration and report automation. All right, and also building your case and creating action. Because as a HR analyst, you notice something. Oh, I think we should change our HR policy. How do you go ahead to pass that across? It's one thing for you to know what to do to solve a problem. It's another thing for you to present what to do to solve that problem. And that is the reason why you need what? Collaboration. And so you're building your case and creating action. So you find out what the problem is. You think the company should change their policy on HR-related matters. How do you go ahead to present that to the stakeholders? How do you go ahead to communicate your insights? Okay? So these are the different things you need for you to be a business analyst, a financial analyst, a HR analyst, or a data analyst. All of those roles, those 4 roles, they are very, 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 adding 3 more varies in there, very, very, very high in demand. Now, I'm not the one saying this. I'm saying this, of course, but you don't have to take my word for it. You can go online right now and take a look at the World Economic Forum report, whereby it's called the future of jobs, whereby you get to see roles that are only going to increase with time in terms of what? In terms of opportunities. And you also see those roles that are only going to decline. And for roles that are only going to increase, you have your what? Your data analyst, your business intelligence analyst, your over here you see the data analyst and scientists. This covers the data analyst, the financial analyst, and also the HR analyst. And then of course you have your business intelligence analyst. If you scroll down, you also see other roles. Now over here you can click on this to download the report as soon as you get access to the slides, so you get to take a look at it yourself. Okay, now you might be wondering, all right, so Aisha sir, you said that all of these roles, I can go into business analysis, data analytics, HR analytics, or financial analytics. Great. Kudos. All right. You've told me that the opportunities are limitless. Great. But what would make me get the job? Because you've just been speaking, but what would be, okay, how do you want me to believe that I would get the job? Because yeah, of course, this is what you're going to say. You're not going to come here and tell me that business analysis is rare. Okay? I'm not going to expect, so I expect that you will tell me that, oh, there are so many opportunities. Okay? So I expect that. But what should make me believe you? That if I go ahead to learn any of these skills, I will get a job. Don't believe me. Okay? What did I say? I said what? Don't believe me, but rather believe them. Okay? Believe the people that we've been able to help transition into tech. The over 2,000 individuals that have been able to help make that transition from the classroom into their first job in tech, their first role in tech. And what does that say? From the classroom means that they did not have any prior experience of tech skills, of what tech is about. They didn't have any prior experience. But we are able to help them make that switch. But if we are to add those that had some experience, they had some knowledge about about tech, it's a whole lot more than 2,000. This is Busola, for example. These are just few ones. Okay, take a look at Busola. Busola joined that program in March. Okay, joined that program in March, and currently Busola is working as a performance analyst for Desjardins in Canada. This is Desjardins reaching out to us requesting for a reference letter, because one thing that we offer to all our participants and alumni is a reference letter. Okay, so this is Busola sending in an email to us, telling us that she got the job and that she needs a reference and all of that. There are a whole lot more examples. Of course, because of time, I might not be able to do a deep dive into all of these, but you have the slides, and you are going to get the slides. Please take time, go through all of these things. Listen to all of those persons, okay? Listen to Tony, listen to Benga. You have links over here that you can click on them. You can listen to these people speak, how they're able to make that transition. These are a list of data analysts. These are a list of, you have Muidin currently works in Nigeria for BBX in the UK, okay? And he got the job just 2 months after completing data analytics training program. All of this is data analysts, Over here, we have that for the business analyst. Are you curious? Oh, can I get a job as a business analyst? If I go ahead to learn the skill, can I get that job? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And like I said, don't listen to me. Listen to them. All right? You're looking to get into what? Financial analysis. Okay? Take a look at this. You listen to Chika, how Chika was able to land the job as a financial analyst in the UK. Listen to Akintayo. Akintayo was able to land the job as a chief financial officer in Nigeria. Listen to Grace. How Grace was able to land the job. Listen to Solomon. And of course, listen to the HR analyst. How Victor was able to make that switch. How Maureen, how Olajide, how Sonia, how they were all able to make that switch. Listen to them. Listen to the plethora of individuals that we've been able to help make that switch. The links are here. All you have to do is click and listen. Why are we so successful? Why do we have, oh, this person got a job, this person got a job, this person got a job, all of that? Why? Easy. It's because we know what works. For you to get a job, knowing how to do the work is not enough. For you to get a job, knowing how to do the work is not enough. Okay? I'll repeat. For you to get a job, knowing how to do the work is not enough. You also need the other 50%. Knowing how to do the work is just the first 50%, which is the technical skills. The other 50% is your employability skills. Because it's one thing for you to be able to do the work. It's another thing for the recruiter to know that you can do the work. It's one thing for you to be a data analyst, but can your CV pass the test? All right? Can your CV actually pass the test? All right. Can your CV actually pass the test? Can your CV pass through the applicant tracking system? If you go ahead to apply for a job, would you get the role? How does the recruiter know that you can actually do the job? If you can bake a cake, let's say you can bake a cake. Let's say, oh, you're a very, very good a baker. And I'm looking for someone to bake a cake for me. Okay, so maybe let's say, because I need someone to bake a cake. How do I know that you can bake the cake? How do I know that you can bake the cake to go ahead to employ you? How? Everyone. It's one thing for you to know how to do the job. It's another thing for you to get the job. It's one thing for you to know how to do the job. It's another thing for the recruiter to know you can do the job. And that's why I said we know that's why I said we know what works here at Analytics. We know that for you to get a job offer, it's an equation. Technical skills plus your employability skills is what will get you the job. And as a result of that, we've been able to have what we call the three-layered approach. The three-layered approach. To arm you with the other 50%, because you're going to get the 50%, the first 50%. There's no doubt about that. You're going to get the technical skills. But what we define as success here at Analytics is you getting the job. And so we are going to equip you with the other 50%. Taking a look at the three-layered approach. Whereby we have level 1. What is level 1? Okay. In level 1, we have a series of items. Number 1, your CV review session. For you to actually get the job, you need to have a fantastic CV. A CV that can pass through the ATS system. A CV that, after it has gone through the ATS, the applicant tracking system, that when it gets to the recruiter will take a look at your CV and say, oh, wow, yes, you are the one for the job. Because have you ever thought about this? Why are you not getting called for an interview? It's not that the recruiter does not like you. The recruiter has not seen you. It's just a piece of paper. Why is the recruiter accepting some papers, but they are not accepting your paper? Of course, I know we're in the digital age, and now, many CVs are, digital, but you get what I mean, okay? So why is the recruiter accepting other people's papers, but not your paper? It's not that they don't like you, like I said. They have not seen you. It's all about the paper, what you placed on the paper, how you structure things on the paper. Meaning that there's a way for you to make that paper a CV that you would actually get called for an interview. And that's why you have the CV review sessions. Next, you have your LinkedIn. You need a fantastic LinkedIn. There's really not much to talk to, there's really not much to say about that. LinkedIn is the Facebook for professionals. On LinkedIn, you have people recruiting. For one, I've recruited many individuals on LinkedIn. I want someone for a role. What do? I go on LinkedIn. I search the role. I take a look at the profiles. I take a look at profiles. Those that are calling to me, those that I think are nice, those profiles that I think, oh, this person can do the job. I reach out to them privately, and then I tell them to send in their interview. This is you being called for a job that you did not even know existed. It can only be possible if you have a well-optimized LinkedIn. And that's the reason for the LinkedIn optimization sessions. So you have a fantastic LinkedIn profile. So your LinkedIn profile sends you what we call emails, whereby you're getting emails of job opportunities that are relevant to you, job that you are the best fit for. If you're looking to go into freelancing, you want to decide your own work hours. You want to work only January, February, and then March to December, you want to be on vacation. You only want to work 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then the rest of the day, you don't want to work. You want to freelance. Upwork is for you. The Upwork optimization session will show you how to properly get gigs, how to optimize your Upwork and to get gigs on Upwork. Upwork has some, they have the connect, they have different things that you need to do, the proposals. You get to learn how you can get all of those things done to ensure that you do land gigs on Upwork and that you become a successful freelancer. You also have navigated the job market. Navigating the job market takes you through how you can succeed in the job market in your location. Because for many persons, oh, so you're currently in a country that maybe you just migrated, you really don't know what the job market is like here. You don't know if to apply for jobs by 2 p.m. or by 5 p.m. If to apply for jobs in the morning, afternoon, or evening, okay, and all of that. So in navigating the job market, you get to speak with professionals that will take you through what they did that worked. So you do that. And what they did that did not work. So you don't do that. All right. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is meant to ensure that you get called for an interview. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is meant to ensure that the recruiter knows that you can do the job. You've been called for an interview, but you don't want to mess it up. Because many persons, getting their CV screened is not an issue. They do get interviews, but that's the end. During the interview, they get interviewed and they get things like, we'll get back to you, and they're never gotten back to you. Okay? So that is the reason why we have the job and interview prep. If you've gotten an interview, you can go ahead to book an interview prep session with us where you get to have a one-on-one interaction with a professional that will take you through things that you should expect, questions that you should expect, or things like oh, this is how you should answer the question, tell me about yourself. Or this is how you should answer the question about your experience. Or if you're asked this kind of question, this is what you should do. If you're asked this is what you should do, and all of that to ensure that you do get that job. The recruiter is impressed with you. They want to employ you. But they want to know if you are really who you say you are. They want to know if everything you talked about during the interview, if you actually did do all of those things. They want a reference letter. As long as you are a participant or an alumni within analytics, you are sure of getting a fantastic reference letter from us. Okay? Because you are going to be consulting with us. What you place on your LinkedIn will be, on your CV will be, let's say you went to register for the business analysis program. It will be 10 analytics, business analyst consultant with 10 analytics. Okay? So whenever an employee, whenever the recruiter wants a reference, they can reach out to us and you're sure of getting a fantastic reference. Moving on to level 2. You have your weekly mentorship sessions. You're going to be mentored weekly. Because sometimes you've been applying, you have been applying for roles, but you're not getting called back. And you might feel down, you might want to give up. The mentorship session is meant to ensure that the mentorship session, it's meant to ensure that you are that you are in line with the current trends in the industry, that if you're about to give up, that someone will tell you that, oh, so you've applied for 30 roles, no callback, don't give up. Rejections happen to the best of us. Keep on applying. And we'll take a look at what you did wrongly and, try to correct all of that. Take you through what you can do to improve, to ensure that you do get the job. Be mentored weekly. On the job support, you've gotten the job, but you were given a task. You're not really sure how to go about the task. You can reach out to us and you're sure of getting guides. Okay, oh, so do this, so you've been told to do this. Oh, okay, no problem. Click on this, and you get it done. And then you go back to work and, of course, blow their heads off. Figuratively, of course. Not literally, okay? Don't go blowing anyone's head off, okay? So we also offer the job support. And one of our promise to you is that when you go ahead to register for the program, we are guaranteeing you one job interview. I'm guaranteeing you a job interview 1 month after completing the training program with us. All you need to do is ensure that you do what we tell you to do, that you are committed, and you leave the rest to us. When you are part of the program, you are going to be onboarded on what we call the LMS. This is a screenshot of the LMS where you get to learn, okay? Because we have a dual learning approach. You get to learn with what we do in videos, and you also get to learn in class, whereby in class, live classes, you're speaking with the facilitator, you're asking questions, just like what we are doing right now. You're working on things, working on projects. And then during the week, you also get to work on the LMS. So this is what the LMS looks like. Okay, this is what the LMS looks like. Now, let's say you'd see there are different courses. So let's take a look at the business analysis program, for example. So you see the business analysis program. So I can come over here, I'll click on continue learning, and then over here I have a bunch of videos, all right, for every week that's introducing me to certain concepts. As a participant with Analytics, you are sure of getting the absolute best. You even have the AI trainer. So this is my colleague, all right? So this is my colleague called Oluko, okay? So Oluko is my AI colleague, okay? So you have an AI trainer that if you have questions, all right, any question that you have, so this is very, very robust, like your ChatGPT 4.0. So I'm sure you know about ChatGPT 4.0, but you can go ahead to ask question that is paid for. For this, as long as you are part of the program, you get free access to the AI trainer. Any question regarding your career, why can I do this? What can I do to move forward? You get to ask Oluko. And you also have people in your different groups. You have the facilitator, you have the coordinators, you have a robust learning platform. You also have the learning management. Okay, you have you have your class timetable, like so robust. Again, learning with Analytics, you are sure of getting premium learning content. Premium. And you also have the classroom. What does the classroom look like? What is the classroom? I'm going to show it to you. All right. So this is the classroom. So once you are onboarded, you also get to be part of the classroom. So I'm going to show you what the data analytics classroom looks like. So I'm going to open up the data analytics classroom, and I will come over to create the classwork section. Just wait for this to load up. Okay, and then I'll just go to the bottom. So the first thing you see you have your onboarding materials. Okay, so you've gotten into the program, you are onboarded, so you have your welcome kit, videos to how to navigate the LMS. That's the LMS I just showed you. Your over here you have your installation videos to install the different applications you'll be using, and then you have creating your portfolio, and then you have your onboarding session, and of course you have the very first class, which is your problem solving class. Because like I mentioned earlier, you need to be able to solve problems if you are a business analyst, if you are a data analyst, financial analyst, HR analyst. You need to be able to solve problems. And so you have your problem solving class. Over here, you have the class recording. So let's say you miss a class. No need to fret. Every class is recorded. Every session is recorded. So you can always come to the classroom and you click on this to listen to what you might have missed. Over here, you have the class materials. So I can click on this and then you get to see the materials. Okay. So you have the problem solving materials. So you have the introduction to the facilitator. You have everything you need. All right. The materials, the different kinds of problems different kind of problem solving framework, methods, and all of that. Okay. And then moving on, you see you have your mentorship session, of course, weekly, and then you have your first Excel class. Now, every class is practical based. You are going to be working on an actual business case. Take a look at this, for example. So you have your first Microsoft class, all right? And then over here, you have the background study. So it says you have been appointed to work with as a newly appointed manager. And then go ahead to work. So for every class, you are going to be working as a business analyst and learning. It's what we call experiential learning. If you're in data analytics program, you're going to be working as a data analyst because you're going to be working on problems that the facilitators have worked on previously. In their experience in their organizations they worked with or they worked for, they bring those problems to class. You get to work on those problems, working with the tools that, for example, you're going to be working with Excel, solving an actual business problem. So I love to say that when you join the program, you are not learning how to use the tool. You're not learning how to use Excel, but rather you are learning how to apply Excel to solve a business problem because that's what it's about. No one would employ you because you know how to use Excel. You'll be employed because you can use Excel to solve their problem. All right. So over here, you see the different cases. Then if I scroll up, you'd see you have your CV review session. You have Excel Live Class 2. You have the class material. So this is your second life class 2, whereby you're working for an organization called Eonet. So you have the overview, the objective, the learning stack, You have the tailored analysis. You can download your data set over here. Very, very, very much detailed. Okay, so this is what the classroom looks like. And then, of course, if I scroll up, you're going to see your if you have an interview prep. If you have an interview, you can go ahead to book for an interview. So over here, you see book an interview prep session. This also in the LMS. So over here, you can see interview preparation. Have you been invited for an interview? Go ahead to schedule an appointment. You can request for a reference letter. Everything is tailored for you. The next cohort begins 3rd of August. How can you be a part of this? How can you be a part of the next cohort? Because we have a cohort beginning on the 3rd of August. For you to be a part of the next cohort, you are going to be making a commitment, of course. Now, for you to be a part of the business analysis program, the data analytics, and also this also applies to the financial analytics and the HR analytics. So apologies about that. So this applies to the 4 programs. So this was just so I would think I would change that right now. So just give me a moment. Okay, so we are not confused. All right, so this applies to every program. That's every program: your business analysis, data analytics, HR analytics, and of course your financial analytics. Okay, so I'll just go ahead to bring that up. Okay, so for you to be a part of the program, what you need to do is to make a commitment, of course. Now, what is the amount? What is the price? The full price, the full amount is, if you are paying in Canadian dollars, that's 1,125 Canadian dollars. If you're paying in euros, that's 730 euros. If you're paying in pounds, that's 625 pounds. And if you're paying in dollars, that's $750. Okay, so that's the payment. Now, we are currently running a discount for the first 20 persons to register, only for the first 20 persons, okay? And if you are part of the discount, you get to have a 20% off, thereby paying 900 Canadian dollars instead of 580 euros, 500 pounds, and $600 instead, okay? So if you are looking to make payments and you are not so let's say you want to make payments and you want to ensure you cancel the discounts, because like I said, discount is only for the first 20 persons. You can go ahead to break the payment into 2 installments, whereby you have your first installment over here and your second installment. So the first installment, you get to pay the first installment before the start of the program. So let's say before the 3rd of August, you get to pay, let's say you're paying in pounds, okay? You get to pay 250 pounds before August 1st, because registration is going to close August 1st. Okay, and then 1 month into the program, taking a look at the end of August, you get to pay the second installment of, that's the balance of 150 pounds. Now, my colleague has been sending in the payment details to the chat box. I'm going to take you through what the payment platform looks like. So as soon as you click on the main stack link, it's going to bring you over to the Analytics Enrollment Center. All right. And on the enrollment center, you have chat with analytics. If you're having an issue, you're making payments, maybe there's a problem, you can send a roadblock. You can just click on this and you can chat with us, and someone is on ground to respond to you. Okay. And then, of course, over here, you have access to all our program brochures. So you have 8, we currently have 8 programs. If you are curious about other programs, you can click on these to take a look at the brochures of our other programs. Okay. And then over here, you can see the price list. All right. So you can see the price list. You have the data analytics, business analysis, HR analytics, and all of that. And of course, you have the discounted amount at this section. And then scrolling down, so you can make a direct transfer. So let's say you want to make a direct transfer. Okay, you want to pay directly from your bank. And we have the Canadian account details, the British account details, the Euro account details, the dollar account details, and the Nigerian account details. So if you're looking to make payments in any or with any of these account details, as I'm looking to make a direct transfer. But if you are not looking to make a direct transfer, or let's say you're in Ghana, let's say you're in South Africa, you're in Australia, you're looking to make payments, and you really can't make a direct transfer, or you are currently in the US, in Canada, but you don't want to make a transfer, you want to pay using your card. What do? Scroll down, you see you have card stroke online payments. Okay, So you can select the program you're looking to make payments for. So let's say business analysis. Let's say I want to register for business analysis. I'll click on business analysis, and this would open up a new tab. So we just wait for this to load. Okay, and over here I get to insert my price. So at the moment I'm currently in Nigeria, and that's the reason why you see it's in Naira. So whatever currency, whatever location, wherever you're located, this will take note of what? Of your currency. So if you're in Ghana, this will be in cedis. If you're in, wherever you are, if you're in India, this will be in rupees and all of that. Okay. So let's say I want to go ahead to make payments. So I want to go ahead to make payments. Let's say I qualify for the discount. So I want to go ahead to make payments, which will be 960,000 if you're paying in Naira. So I'm going to go ahead to click on proceed to pay. I insert the amount I'm looking to pay, click on proceed to pay. And then I get taken to this point. Now, next, I insert my name, my email address, I insert my number. So I'm just going to insert a couple of some random numbers. And then I'll scroll down and now see proceed. So I can click on proceed. And then I'll wait for a pop-up asking me for my card details. Okay, so now I insert my card details and then I go ahead to make payments. Now, as soon as I make payments, I'm going to get a receipt. A receipt will be sent to me via email. So once you make payments, a receipt will be sent to you via email. And of course, if you also make payments using the direct transfer, you also get a receipt. You want to come back here and scroll to where you have upload your receipt here. And then you click on upload your receipt here and upload your receipt. And then you will receive a confirmation email from us and also an email with everything you need to get started, the links to everything you need to do to get started to be a part of the program. Okay. And one other thing, in case if maybe you're looking to make payments, but you want to ensure that you key to the discount, but at the moment, you currently do not have the full discounted amount or the full first installment, okay? So you can go ahead to make a commitment. And what do I mean by commitment? Let's say in pounds, instead of you paying 250 pounds, you can go ahead to pay, let's say 250 pounds, 200 pounds to key into your discount, to secure your discount slot. And then before the start of the program, that's before August 1st, you want to now pay the balance of your first installment. So let's say you go ahead to make a commitment to 250 pounds. Before the start of the program, you want to pay the balance of £100 to key into the program and to complete your first installment. And then 1 month into the start of the program, that'll be the end of August, you get to pay your balance. All right. Like I mentioned, we've been doing this for a while. We've helped over 2,000 individuals transition into tech. As soon as you get the slides, ensure you go through all of the testimonials, listen to them. Like I said, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to them. Listen to people we've been able to help transition and know that you can do same. Any question? Any questions? So if you have a question for me, you can use the raise hand icon. You can also send your question to the chat box. And of course, I would respond. All right. So Abraham has a question. Abraham, please go ahead. So Abraham, I've asked you to unmute, so you can go ahead to ask your question, please.
Okay. So I want to say thank you very much for the wonderful presentation and the enlightenment.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So my question is that I was just wondering, sir, is there any form of scholarship around this, sir? Thank you, sir. That's my question. Thank you, sir.
All right, fantastic. So at the moment, Abraham, so we currently do not have any scholarship running. So we have the discount, of course, for the first 20 persons. But in terms of the scholarship at the moment, we really don't have a scholarship running. All right, but please ensure you keep on following because scholarships will come in from time to time. At the start of the year, I think in March, we had a 50% IWD scholarship for 300 women and 50 men looking to get into tech. whereby we had a 50% slash in the fees. So for you to register, you only have to pay 50% of the fee. Okay. So but at the moment we do not have one running, but like I said, please ensure you are following us. So whenever any of those opportunities come up, you are well aware. All right. So tests, we do allow instrumental payments. So yes, you can pay in installments. So we have installments, so you can pay in installments. So you can pay in 2 installments. I shared the screen, so I'm going to share the screen again so you get to see the price. Okay, so you can pay in 2 installments. You can pay in 2 installments. You can make your first installment, and then of course so if you're paying in pounds, that'll be £250. Okay, and then 1 month into the program, you get to pay the balance. All right, so we do actually offer installments. Okay, so I guess, do we have any other question? All right, Emmanuel. So Emmanuel, please go ahead to ask a question, Emmanuel.
Sorry, thank you very much, Aisha.
Of course.
I'm really excited to be here tonight. I think I got to know about you guys tonight. So I jump
Fantastic.
on.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I jump on a space on X, and I think one of the admin here was speaking there. So I just clicked the link, joined the WhatsApp community. Then I saw the link that pop up again that you guys are live. And why I'm so much excited is I've been someone that has been passionate about finance for years, and I think I started my own journey into finance in 2019. But I don't just have a clue. I just know that I love just playing with numbers and all of that. And I think I even got most of the interest from trading forex and all of that. But I don't want to be a forex trader. I really want to go into finance. So beginning of this month, I've been, like really want to pivot into finance fully. So, and I'll be looking for how do I go about it here and there. So when I just saw this, I just be like, this is incredible. Just that the cluster to it now is that I have to personally beg you guys to make the like installmental payment like a little bit lower. Yeah, so something like that. So the fee is not outrageous, but paying it once can be bulky for we that we don't spend dollar yet. Spend naira, of course. So yeah, but it's actually amazing. I've checked the website while we're on this what's it called meeting. I've checked the website, checked 1 or 2 things out, and I feel like I can start my journey here. I've once done what's it called CFI. I currently own an FMVA certificate, but when I did it then, I just did it out of curiosity. So I feel like this is time for me to really focus on financial analytics and all of that. So I just have to beg you guys to like see how we can play around those numbers so it can be easy for some of us that are not like money backs like that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Emmanuel. And I'm really, really excited that you were able to be a part of the session. Okay, as regards your request, so currently we do have 2 installments. That's what we have, and of course I did put up my screen. Okay, but for in terms of you having, so if we can have more than 2 installments and all of that, so you can reach out to us and we'll see if it's something that we try to see if we can set up something special for you. So what you can do is that reach out to, I'm going to send a mail. Okay, I'm going to send a mail. Send a mail to, I'm going to send an email address to the chat box. Okay, so send a mail to finance@10analytics. Okay, send a mail to finance@10analytics.io. All right, send a mail to finance@10analytics.io. Talking about your request, and that's just talk about your request, and then we see what we can do for you. Okay, so that's regards having more than 2 installments. Okay, so you can try that out, and then but at the moment, of course, it's 2 installments, but we'll take a look at things and see how we can make things easier. Okay, but yeah, I do understand. You mentioned that you're in Nigeria, so of course I do understand the situation. Okay, so so yeah, so I guess Oh yes, Olamide. Yes, I remember I mentioned I had something for you, Olamide. Okay. So yes, Olamide, at please, I'm going to take note of your name. All right, I'm going to take notes of your name, Olamide. All right, whenever you decide to register. So we have 20, we have the discount slot is available for only 20 individuals, but I'm going to take note of you, so you automatically have one of those discount slots. All right, that's for you, Olamide. So I'm going to take notes of that. All right, so I'm going to take notes of that and I'll communicate that across to the team. So whenever you register, you are sure of getting the discount. All right. All right, all right. Of course, of course. Thank you very much, Olamide. All right. Bemisola is asking for people who want to take two courses, data analysis and business analysis. Do I make two payments or just payment for two? Fantastic, Bemisola. Okay. So if you want to take two courses, what we advise is that take one of the courses first. We don't advise you, running two courses concurrently, because we believe have all of your focus on one course, and then of course you can move on to the other. So if you want to take two courses, you can go ahead to make payment for the two immediately, and then we would defer you to, you also make a request. So we take note of it that you've made payments for two courses. Okay. That when you are done with one, so if you want to start with business analysis or you want to start with data analytics, any of them, that when you are completely done with that, you've done the internship, they will bring you in for the other program. Okay. We don't advise you running two programs concurrently. All right. So that's for you, Sola. Okay. All right. So thank you, everyone. I guess that's it for today. Thank you, everyone. It's been an amazing time. Like I said, your Friday got a whole lot better with you being in this session today, and I really, really, really do hope that was the case. Do have an amazing time, and till then, please, quick, says the clock. All right, quick, says the clock. Whatever you have to do, ensure you do it very, very quick. Make that payment today to secure your discount slot. Cheers, everyone.